DJ Spectre, we're in this game. Start us off. Who's this beautiful
All right.
Protoss in the
Well,
top
starting in the upper right-hand corner, we have the guy who knocked me out of the tournament, who I'm rooting against, unfortunately. It's Thesaurusrex as the yellow Protoss.
He's absolutely in the running for best name of the tournament. We'll see how he does. We'll have to do our review later and take it to the people. But spawning in the bottom left, a Zerg we have not seen yet is our purple Zerg Aeon. EON, probably. I keep calling him Aeon, but it's probably EON. The thing tipping me to that is the E at the beginning of his name. For anyone wondering.
Yeah, we have a company here called Aeon, and as you mentioned, it is an AON. And we have a worker war going on in the Protoss space here. It looks like the drone's actually getting the losing end of this battle, but it got out in one piece, it looks. So it'll scout around and look for proxy funny stuff. Or not proxy, hidden stuff.
Hidden tech, or maybe just hiding, or maybe the old hatch in the main. Sometimes, you can build a base in your opponent's base.
I've seen that once or twice, and I literally, it's one of those things where it's like, you want to know if the hatch is going to finish. You're like, okay, it's got 850 hit points, and he hasn't noticed. Is it going to finish?
Yeah, no, it's a scary situation, and it's one of those where it's sort of like as a Zerg player, when a Protoss is cannoning one of your expansions, you have to react appropriately to it, right? You don't want to... You can, in some cases, right, you just cancel it and move on. But if you let it finish and then you kind of go to kill the cannons, then you can have a really bad time. And it's the same with the hatchery in your main. It's like, you could kill it, right? And you can pull 10 probes and you can kill your hatchery building. Or you can build cannons, or you can go early robo or do something like that.
Oh, not to interrupt you, but look at this. He's got the probe rallied to the hidden hatch that he's going to find at his third. Oh, and he spots it.
Holy
so this would have been his natural, but... oh, there's now a pylon going down to help defend against this.
Yeah, and so he's got his forge finishing, right? So he can just, he gets to cannon the natural of the Zerg at his own third. Which is a good time. It's a really curious sort of play here. We can only assume it's aggressive, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is very strange. Like I said, the wall off for the Protoss is pretty standard, especially against Zerg. You want maybe a little hole just as a choke point, but defending against a proxy natural at your third is always an awkward thing as to what to do. And as you predicted, yes, there is a cannon going down. He might be able to throw a spine crawler down at this base here to sort of pick off the cannon, but I'm not sure the drone would live long enough to actually get that spine up and running.
Right. He's got to get. I mean, he can build it out of range, right, and then walk it into range and reinforce with something else. But the cannon's already finished, right? So he gets to start roaches momentarily. I mean, he could build some there, so maybe he cleans it up that way. Regardless, it's a bad time.
Yes.
Because he doesn't have a drone on site yet, so he can't build a spine.
And there's no queen there to generate an infusion, although he is making a queen, I think, perhaps for that purpose.
Right. Well, in general, a queen there is going to be good, too, because he gets this close creep, right? So even if this queen finishes, the hatchery dies, right? He doesn't get anything but those 3 roaches and the queen out of it. He's got creep there, so he gets to drop creep tumors and start to crowd out his opponent. So that's cool, that's fun, but at the end of the day, is it worth it? Probably not.
Yeah, it's a very expensive investment. I mean, we're looking at 300 for the hatch. You've got you got a larva inject. How much energy? He only has 8 energy because he just did an inject, so I'm thinking the inject may not actually finish before this hatchery dies. It's going to be really close.
But he is able to save the hatch, which is very cool for him. And now we've got this uncomfortable situation, right, for your Protoss nemesis, where he's got a base right next to his base. It's not as bad as having one in your base, but...
Yeah, well, still, it's an easy reinforce. He's got a few cannons there. He's building a 4th cannon and now a pylon to create a sort of artificial wall inside of his own base. But unfortunately, that pylon's going to block his ass. Right. But you're right, this is an easy reinforce for this Zerg here, and with roaches and very few units out, if any. Does he have any units? No, I don't think he has an army.
Nope, he doesn't. And so, really, I mean, any number of sentries here is really cool. He's actually dropped a Twilight. I would have liked to see a Robo. Because he's seen roaches, right? So he knows what this is. This is a roach bust with maybe banelings following it up to break the wall. And so Eon is so far behind in economy based on his build. He knows what needs to happen is in the next couple minutes he's going to have roaches in his face, right? So 1 immortal and 2 sentries makes all the difference in the world. He's already got 4 cannons. So he's going to be in an okay situation for DPS, but the Twilight, unless he's trying to like transition into DTs, banking on his opponent not having the tech or spores to defend this. I don't know what it's for, but here we come in with the big roach bust. He's pulling the probes to try to keep him walled off. Great surround from the probes. Unfortunately, not a great matchup.
No, this is terribly one-sided. Unfortunately, Thesaurus, my earlier comment about rooting against him aside, I actually feel that this is actually a very unfortunate position he found himself in, and these roaches just have literally nothing to stop him. There's like a cannon and 1 photon overcharge. The mothership core won't be able to get another photon overcharge up for at least, what is that, another 30 seconds maybe, and I don't think that's going to be enough to stop this push. He has no power to the gateway. His warp gate is now frozen, so he can't warp anything, and this is a nigh hopeless situation for Thesaurus, unfortunately.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're looking at a probe count of approximately the same as the roach count, and when that's the fight that you're finding yourself in, you're not going to have a good time. A few gateways are being warped in, but it's not going to be in time. Even with a photon overcharge, he's got to decide which base he's going to try to defend. So, slowly but surely, hope is slipping away from the grasp of our yellow Protoss hero.
Yeah, and it would have been better if he'd have been able to get warp, but if you look, like, his warp gate tech is actually stopped, like literally, like, 9 seconds before it finished. So, I mean, if he'd had that, he might have been able to warp in some Stalkers or Zealots from those three or four gateways, but
right.
He GG's out, unfortunately.
Yeah, and he says the telltale sad thing that makes me the most sad when I lose a game. He knows what's coming, right? Tries to prepare for it, doesn't quite do it right or do the right thing, and drops the game. Kevin, what's our match or our next map?
Our next map is Deadwing.
All right, give me 1 second. Somehow my client dropped. I don't know what happened. It keeps saying achievement service gone, restored, gone, restored. So give me a hot second to relaunch my game. Please apologize to the players. This is entirely unintentional and accidental.
That's okay. It should be.
He's trying to spite Thesaurusrex.
I'm throwing cyber rocks at him right now.
It looks like EON had maybe a similar sort of disconnect thing because he's offline now.
Listen,
probably not a rage quit since he just won the game. So
it's I was like 2.0.
I did it. I'm out. I'm done. Got that 1-0. Wait, it's best of 3. No. So I mean, while we're waiting a little bit for a little Battle.net 2.0, but do you think they'll get to Battle.net 2.1 in Legacy of the Void?
No, not a chance.
Damn. Maybe back to Battle.net 1.0.
No, when they launch what is it, Overwatch, then we'll get Battle.net 3.0, right?
Probably.
Because Overwatch isn't due out for like another year and a half.
Oh, I don't know.
It's like a long time, isn't it?
I'm terrible at shooter games, and so I was like, well, it's another Team Fortress, and I don't know how to play Team Fortress either. So,
the closest thing I ever played to Team Fortress was the Unreal, not the tournaments line of games, but the actual the story version. So you had Unreal, and then you had Unreal 2.
Yeah.
Unreal 2 had a mod called XMP, which was called Extreme Multiplayer. And with that download that you could get, you would have something similar to Team Fortress. So you had like an engineer which could lay turrets. You had your heavy guy with the missile launcher, and like a sniper that had like the pistol and sniper rifle. So that was the closest I ever got to that sort of game. Same thing goes for Call of Duty. I never played any of those on multiplayer, but I feel you, man.
Yeah, no, I'm just terrible at. I have like no hand-eye coordination, so shooters or even mouse coordinate. Nope. I'm just
well, that's
wild.
funny
I'm
because
crazy.
I think there's a good number of shooters that require way less like technical control than StarCraft. Like StarCraft's much harder.
Yeah, well, I mean, I play Zerg, so I don't know how to micro. I just make a lot of stuff. And then
he blocks everything.
I move it at the other guy, and I see what happens.
Oh, I thought that was Terran. I thought Terran was the 1A master. We 1 base, 1A win. I thought that was the trifecta.
Are we all just 1 base masters? No. Like, are we
I
all
don't know.
just,
You're diamond.
just
I'm gold, so I don't know.
Are we all just? Is it really just that Terran, Zerg, and Protoss are all just 1A to victory?
That's right.
We've made a revelation. We can all be friends now. We're racially equivalent. No, but anyway, as we're hopping in the game now.
Whoa,
We're
I
in
need
the
to get added
lobby.
to the party.
Hold on. Just hold your horses.
Blame Sam for everything.
You're
I don't.
offline.
I'm so appreciative of Sam because I just sit here and I don't do anything. I complain about my like overlay that I have to update like meticulously because I'm an idiot. And then he just does all the work. It's pretty sweet. But anyways, Thesaurusrex has a cool name, but a little bit more about him. He's a Diamond Protoss from Illinois. If you'd like to watch his play, actually, I think he said he isn't quite streaming now, but he will. He's like working on building a computer or something right now to actually be able to stream properly. But he is twitch.tv/Thesaurusrex, just like his StarCraft name. So I guess at some point in time he'll be streaming or something. I don't know. We'll see. His greatest crowning achievement that he came by was that he made Idra rage in Wings of Liberty. So we can maybe credit Thesaurusrex for putting Idra into
Idra's retirement, yeah.
perhaps.
I think so.
I have my only interaction with a pro player was I bumped into In Control in a 4v4. Like random, like it was during my season had just started, and so you still have to do that one placement match.
Yeah.
And so anyway, I logged in with my teammates, and on the other opposite team, I see In Control, and it's spelled the same way with the proper capitalization. And so I don't know, my teammate just decided, hey, let's just worker rush them. So we did. So all four of us sent our workers over to him, and In Control out microed all four of us and beat us by himself. And literally, he's typing the chat. He's like, "How is it this hard?" Because it was whatever bronze 4v4 or something, but it was hysterical. So that's my only interaction with a pro player randomly.
That's pretty funny. And then we've got EON. I guess we're still pending. So EON, he is a Masters Zerg. He's from Minnesota. Represent. And, for his Twitter, he just put in SC2 INF Gaming because he is the manager, I guess the manager of the Infinity Gaming Pro Team. Same team that we've seen Game Time, one of the other players in. I think it might just be Game Time and EON, or from Infinity. We're ready to go. Good luck. Have fun, guys.
I was thinking about dropping, but I probably don't have to. Go ahead.
All right, and off we go. So yeah, EON, a manager for the Infinity Gaming Pro Team, but still a master level Zerg, so not bad. I mean, I could say I'm the manager of Sam Holtman, and I'm.
That's right.
I'm
Kevin's
still
far worse than me.
Whoa! Whoa.
At the end of this, Sam, you have to ask for a raise after that comment, right?
I know, right? By the way, boss.
Hey, I gave you a whole $1.
I
gave you a whole $1 yesterday.
I let him win Star Party.
Oh. I thought it was just because of the fact that
I beat him.
You went out for your birthday.
Wait, what? Did you beat me in Star Party?
That's what the game said. It said I took second.
Oh my gosh. You got lucky on something.
I got
right?
the
Or
worst
some
luck
bullshit?
on the board. That's what the game said.
Oh yeah.
Didn't you roll 2s the entire game?
About half of it.
Strategic twos.
Strategic twos.
Strategic 2s.
So we are loading in.
Shout out for Star Party.
Deadwing.
Great game. Great arcade
It is
game.
a great game. You need to have
Beautiful music.
some people to play it. I want the soundtrack to that. Anyway.
Agreed.
Here we go. We're in the game.
All right, so I'll go ahead and kick us off.
Oh, no, you first,
DJ,
gentlemen.
you cut me off one more time. I'll cut you.
Oh, man.
Spawning at the top left. Up one game. Our Zerg. Purple Zerg. Eon.
And at our bottom left position, we have the guy who's currently the underdog, the yellow Protoss, Thesaurusrex. So what do you want to see out of one of these guys? Like if you had like a pipe dream, let's say this game goes 30 minutes, what would you like to see out of one of these players? Like something you really want to see that you haven't seen?
I want to see Thesaurus cheese even harder than we just saw Eon cheese.
So you're talking like whole base in your base sort of thing, like a Nexus gateway forge, like right up in this upper edge of his base. Or
No, actually, I just want to see him Sentry Immortal all in. I think it's ridiculous on this map. I think it's really good because it's there's a lot of chokes into the base. There's this scary stage of walking across the map, but if you go behind the Zelnaga watchtowers. Especially on positions like this, then you're actually pretty okay. But I just think something like that is going to set him up into the mid game a little bit safer. And by that I mean past the 6-7 minute mark. Doing a pretty gas heavy sentry heavy with cannon sort of defense is going to put him in a lot better position, and that Robo's always a pretty safe choice. So even if he finds out he can't all in, you can rotate out of it as long as you don't build too many sentries. And as long as you don't cut workers, which he should be able to get the scout in time. But I'd like to see him do something like that. I'd like EON to teach me another new build, like proxy hatch into 14 roach bust.
I think if I had my pipe dream, like it's units you never ever see. Like, I mean, I've seen in a few matches where like the mothership actually gets, or I'm sorry, the mothership core gets evolved into a full-blown mothership.
Mm-hmm.
I've always loved the idea of the mothership, not because it's a particularly great unit itself, since they got rid of the vortex ability, but I still love seeing it on the field in play. It's always interesting. And the other thing is Nidus Worms from Zerg. I always love those plays. It's sort of the sneaky thing that you don't really see a whole lot of lately, but if I were to see either one of those units in play, I think that I'd get that would tickle me a little. I think realism.
These maps have these mains have a really good pocket to drop Nidus into as well. So
you're referring to that little blip that's sort of like opposite their ramp to their main, right?
Yep, correct.
That little lump. Okay.
That little area there, and you can also if you Nidus at the sort of like the backdoor ramp with the double rocks.
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty good place to Nidus as well. You can, just sort of pop in unexpectedly, either early Hydra or early Hydra Queen Ling, something like that.
Yeah, you're right. And the smoke here sort of gives you a little cover from like, the little pylon. But speaking of pylons, there's a pylon at the natural that almost had a cannon, so you nearly got your cheese wish there. But the pylon was canceled, and the cannon was canceled, and the pylon is about to be taken down.
Yeah, so sad day. We're not seeing even the beginnings of a wall for Thesaurusrex. I'm a little worried for him. Once again, pretty late to get anything out onto the field. Typically, we want to see at least one Stalker or a Zealot Stalker, or you want to see a couple Gateway units out of your Protoss hero. But instead, he's getting all the tech. So he's got his Forge, and now he's rotating into Stargate. I mean, there are a lot of things he could do with this. Defensive Void Ray, he could go straight into Phoenix. So typically we see somebody wall off if they're going to open Phoenix. Or just an Oracle. Maybe I'll get 15 drone kills with my Oracle.
That's how he beat me, actually. He the first one was a proxy Oracle, and the second one was a Stargate that I actually missed on my scout, and then he sent 2 in from opposite sides of my base, and my Marines just evaporate. But here, this is dangerous. This is bad. We're looking at 10 Lings here. There's only a single Stalker. It's probably going to take down this Nexus. He does not have much of an army. He doesn't have Warp Gate here either to bring in any reinforce. He just now is producing an Oracle out of a Stargate, but he's getting flooded with Lings here. This is not looking like a real promising situation again for Thesaurusrex.
Yeah, so he does have an Oracle coming in, but we now have more Speedlings rallied across the map, 26 in total. And once again, we have probes versus cannons. Really pro tip right there. If you hold position around the cannon, the Lings won't automatically attack them. But here we have all the hopes and dreams of Thesaurusrex in Midwest Cup number 5 quickly fading ahead of him. The Oracle will get a tremendous number of kills and probably promoted. Already a mentor. But if you ain't got no probes, you ain't got no hopes.
Yeah, and unfortunately, he doesn't have the mothership core out to be able to do photon overcharge and GG, and he realizes that as soon as we did.
So some good games out of EON there. I mean, just really simple, like, hey, I can win the game, and then he does.